Okay, we're on Hennessy Road, and our topic is going to be about COVID bubbles in Asia. And we're just going to walk down the street and film it and just talk about that a little bit. And I'll give you a little bit of a background, exactly why that's going to be my topic. And this is Hennessy. This is the part we're not going to be exploring, and we're going to be going down that way right there. Okay, so hope you enjoy another one of Hong Kong 2022, filming the streets in Hong Kong. All right, so like, subscribe, leave some comments below. Chiquinha, chiquinha, toma cuidado da bovidinha, chiquinha. Okay, so we're going to be walking down Hennessy, showing you what it looks like. We're in an area called Causeway Bay, and we're going to be walking towards Wan Chai, and I'm going to be talking about COVID bubbles, and also showing, you know, iconic stuff like this kind of stuff that's pretty beautiful and cool. These mechanic tram systems, they're along this way. I think also there's some really cool alleys down this way too. That's the other thing I love about Hong Kong, is just like continually cool looking alleys everywhere. This kind of I can't really not focus on, it could be this one street right here. This is like all these little alleys like that, and all the way through like that. Anyways, let's not get too distracted here. My channel used to be called Get Sidetracked, so there's one of the beauties of travel and walking is to get completely sidetracked on whatever stimulus comes along. So I might actually have to revert back to that name as I leave Macau and start talking about the COVID bubbles, which is the topic of this one. But yeah, I've been in Macau the last 2.5 years in a COVID bubble, so all you know is that reality. And there's a lot of like fear and trepidation about traveling, a lot of frustration, especially among expats, because if you're Macau and you're Chinese ethnicity, you can go into China, and so you got an option of, you know, 1/6 of the world's population is there, with tons of cities that are quite different and interesting, unique, so you can go anywhere you want. But if you're a foreigner in Macau, you're basically just stuck there in that little space, which is a cool little space, but it was always amazing when you could get outside of Macau and come to Hong Kong, which was the case up until COVID 2.5 years ago. And then all the quarantines were implemented, and that was no longer possible. So I was going to talk about COVID bubbles. I also used to teach in Japan and Korea, and they're also in their own COVID bubbles. They're also unable to leave their countries that they're in. I knew people in the Philippines that they're also stuck, and they all have their stories, and they're all kind of unfamiliar because you can't experience any of them unless you're actually there yourself. So so I've been keeping in contact with a lot of people, and they're like, oh yeah, you can't, no foreigners allowed in Japan, no foreigners allowed in Hong Kong, none in Macau, you know, throughout, none in Taiwan. It's just kind of the story everywhere that, you know, no foreigners are allowed in Asia, basically. Most of Asia, with a couple exceptions, Singapore, Thailand. So I was in my COVID bubble in Macau. Then I came over here, and it's quite an adjustment because all the rules are different. I couldn't go into restaurants because I didn't have a vaccination record that was verified yet by Hong Kong, and they didn't do it at immigration. They didn't tell me anything about it. They just let me experience the fact that I could not get anything to eat, and that was just, you know, part of the a lot of interesting things around here. Get a red light, so we can't go across that way. But actually, there's, if you guys know what the story is with all these shrines, because I see more shrines here. This is Canal West Road, and there's a lot more over here too. So I think it's some type of prayers. Anyways, we're going to be heading down this way in a minute. But anyways, I was in my COVID bubble. Now that I'm in this one, I can see everything's different. I'm going to be traveling more, so I'll probably be reflecting on that more while I film other places. I won't be telling you about those places until I'm actually there, so I can surprise the viewers a little bit. I really want to cross that road because I'm not really doing much by standing here. There we go. You are getting a taste for Hong Kong as well. You can get around some of these people. It's really difficult here. Some people really spread out like that. You can't get around them. Anyways, part of the Hong Kong experience. Gonna kind of get through here. So yeah, when I came across, there was vaccination differences. There was almost nothing for when I came across into what I needed to do when I came through immigration. About the vaccination records, you need to go to the central post office, central library, and validate and verify that you are vaccinated. Like, I'm not sure, I had to do that to get into Hong Kong, so I don't know why, you know, they would have visitors who didn't know that. There's also didn't tell me the app that I needed to download, because when you first come into a country, you don't have Wi-Fi. So then how do you download an app? But they could have told us at the point of origin, you know, before coming to Hong Kong, they could have made that a thing that they said to people, you know, download an app so that when you come into Hong Kong, you know, like screenshot it, you know, with a QR code, so then you deal with your Wi-Fi later. You know, there was no, basically there's almost no Wi-Fi, so somebody had to do their thing for me, their share their Wi-Fi with on their phone. That I can't remember the name of that, but they had to do that for me so that I could verify that I was able to come into Hong Kong. And it's like, you know, why don't they have that already for tourists, so they don't have to, you know, make their workload a lot lighter and easier? Just told, you know, people coming in beforehand about their app and about how to register so they can go into restaurants and all the other issues, right? Anyways, there's kind of a culture shock, and I was just thinking, like, every country that people go to, there's a culture shock issue with exactly what they need to do and what the reality is. Another one is I have to wear a mask here, and I had to wear it in Macau too, but in Macau there's no COVID there, so it didn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, it kind of does, but outside you can't get COVID anyways, so it's kind of strange that, you know, you get it from touching things, sharing the same air in a closed space, but just walking down the street. But I guess potentially here there's so much close proximity that I guess you could actually move it from one person to the next in the street. So I guess that's a possibility here, but not in Macau. But anyways, if you don't wear a mask in public, it's a 5,000 Hong Kong dollar fine, which is about, I think it's about 600 American dollars, something like that. So I've heard of people who have been getting those fines here. Anyways, everywhere there's a little bit of a COVID bubble, so there's stuff that's happening in everywhere in Asia, and every expat community is kind of stuck in their own place, unable to have any movement unless you want to take the one-way flight back home. And for a lot of us, home is here in Asia, and a lot of expats in particular have made a lot of connections and friends in different countries, myself included, from living abroad for over 26 years. So of course, just being stuck in one place is a little bit of a challenge, and that's kind of the experience with everybody that's living in Asia. That guy really sneezed loud there. Did he have a mask on? I don't know. Maybe let me know in the comments below. Anyways, so this topic is about COVID bubbles, and I think we're going to end this one, and maybe an interesting content one. If you have any other content things I can talk about, I will, and I'll do some content-based videos while I'm walking down the streets. So these busy streets are a little bit hard to focus on, and so they're better for content videos anyways. Okay, we're in a bottleneck, so we're going to end it right here. So hope you enjoyed another one of Hong Kong 2022, filming the streets in Hong Kong. Alright, so like, subscribe, leave some comments below. Chiquinha, chiquinha.